Normally when we tape a show on Monday, we had a little problem. Mikey's running a bush race. So we sent our guys out to find a look-alike. I think we did pretty good. So we're going to talk about that coming up next on NASCAR's
I hope he doesn't
Winston
talk as much.
He might not. Might not. Talk about it next.
The Subway commercials are all about Jared. Subway 400 was about Jarrett, who won out on Sunday at Rockingham after a thrilling duel with Kurt Busch. Rusty Wallace dominated the first half of the race on a weekend where practice was scarce because the weather was uncooperative. Welcome to the Turkey on Wheat Hold the Mayo edition of NASCAR Inside Winston Cup. Alan Bestwick here in our Charlotte studios where we are live. Because of Mikey running in the Monday NASCAR Busch Series race, we are doing the working without a net thing here tonight.
I bet that's scaring the back room, too.
Probably, yeah. The producer doesn't have a lot of hair to start with, and he's probably going to lose a couple more fistfuls over the next 59 minutes or so. Let me welcome to the program our expert panel. Michael Waltrip, driver of the Napa Chevy for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. Johnny Benson, driver of the Valvoline Pontiac for MBV Racing. And Ken Schrader, driver of the BAM Dodge.
BAM Dodge.
Who started 35th and finished 24th on Sunday at Rockingham.
Well, we were hoping to have a better day than that, and we got caught in the pits and had one green flag stop that took a little too long and put us that one lap down. And had a good car, though. It ran good all day. We ran up to 17th. Not that 17th is good, but we ran up to there from our 35th and then just got caught. But was very excited about the way it ran and looking forward to going to Vegas.
Good second week.
Good second week.
All right. JB qualified on the outside of the front row, wound up finishing 13th.
13th. Yep, it was started off good. You know, like say the Valvoline Pontiac qualified good, and just as the race got going there, I noticed that I only had front brakes. And so we kept adjusting. I just couldn't keep it on the bottom of the track. Couldn't run the track where I wanted to. We were pretty happy to come out of there 13th with the problems that we had. So we just had to deal with it all day and got back to the shop, tried to figure out what the problem was.
Because you were pretty far back at one point, like 27th, 28th?
We went a long ways back, and then we started taking big swings at it, and I kept saying, I says, I got a brake problem. And James made some great calls, made some swings. He says, you're just going to have to deal with it, and we ended up 13th.
Mikey started 22nd, finished 19th on Sunday in the Napa car.
Yeah, I've run 5 races at Darlington for DEI, and I finished 19th in 3 of them.
How'd you do at Rockingham?
Where were we at yesterday?
Rockingham.
There I am, Napa Chevy. I've run 3 races at Rockingham for DEI. No, I've run 5, and I've finished 19th in 3 of them. And 21st in 1 and broke in the other ones.
Very consistent.
Consistently horrible. But the cool thing about, we got it the best it was at the end whenever we passed a few guys and finished 19th. It was a crappy day though. Today was looking pretty good. And even managed to mess it up. I finished 18th somehow.
We'll explore that story a little bit later on. But we appreciate the effort to get back and be with us here live on our Monday broadcast.
Wouldn't miss it for the world. We had a victory celebration at my mom's house tonight, where my brother-in-law Dave and my 2 wonderful sisters cooked the best meal you've ever had in your whole life.
They can cook.
Oh, they can, and we enjoyed it, and I promised them that I had to cut the celebration a little short to come here, but that in my heart I would be sitting in their living room with them, and even on TV. Right now I am. So, love y'all. Thank you for a great meal. Thanks for the party. It's kind of crazy to have a party when you just got beat twice. Yeah. I mean, most recent thing I know is we got beat twice this weekend, but it was a great weekend the week before, so we celebrated a little bit. Now I'm done. I won't say anything else, Schrader.
You do good.
Kind of busy between last week and this week, though.
Can I?
Yes, sir. You're our man, buddy.
That was a heck of a week. They really got a lot of stuff for you to do. I think the PR firm, Alan Taylor, that NASCAR uses, they do a nice job of giving you a lot of opportunities to talk about your wonderful win in Daytona. So it was fun.
Was weather what kept you from going up to Letterman's show or something? Was that what I
That was
heard?
the first problem. They got like 2 feet of snow, and so we wound up leaving on Tuesday afternoon and went up there and did Regis and Kelly, and got to ring the bell at the stock market. That was my favorite thing, pretty much. And another thing that was really cool, I didn't get to experience when I won before, was having the team with me as we inducted the car into the Daytona USA. You know, because the guys worked so hard on that, and they're just so proud to give that car away. And I was real thankful for that opportunity to give our car away, and the fans can check it out for the next year.
Glad to have you back here with us.
Thanks for having me back.
Always a pleasure. Here are the top 10 finishers from the Subway 400 at Rockingham on Sunday. Dale Jarrett's 31st career NASCAR Winston Cup victory. Coming up, Johnny, Michael, and Kenny will take us through the Subway 400. Kurt Busch, who dueled Jarrett for the victory, he's going to be our hot seat guest a little bit later on in the program. We'll also hit some highlights from the NASCAR Busch Series race on Monday. And there were some highlights to hit. Get it? Get it? And preview this weekend's Las Vegas race. Don't go away. NASCAR Inside Winston Cup live on Speed.
Speed Channel's coverage of NASCAR Inside Winston Cup is brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. And by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Headlines now. NASCAR lighten the pockets of 7 Winston Cup Series crew chiefs for a variety of Daytona tech inspection infractions. You see the crew chiefs and the fines listed there. Let's see. Things ranged from rear coil spring mounts to external probe heaters to underpans to fuel filters to adjustable fender braces that didn't meet NASCAR rules. That basically was the big judgmental is not the right word, adjudication headline of the week.
You can sign your name wrong on a sign-in sheet, get signed 500, so that's no big news.
The biggest fine in Daytona was Rusty Wallace's carburetor, and Billy Wilburn got hung for 10 grand for that, and Rusty lost his starting spot. But other than that, everything was pretty normal.
Are these type of things, spring mounts and heater probes, nitpicky, or is that kind of enforcement necessary?
The rules.
Very unnecessary. I mean, you gotta definitely have a line somewhere, and sometimes things gets moved around for an advantage, and sometimes it's just a part.
Okay.
No big deal.
Light news week.
Is that all?
Yeah, that was all I had.
That was it?
Did I forget anything? I mean,
Yeah,
I don't guess.
I think you covered it.
okay. So then we'll save a little time here and give us more time to talk about the Rockingham race.
These lights new.
No. But it is warm in here. Is your point?
Hot in here.
Let's talk about Rockingham, and because I'm excited about our pole sitter.
Okay.
And I saw that's next on your list.
Go for it.
Okay.
It was neat.
Up next, our expert panel gives you their review.
Oh, we got a commercial first. I'm sorry. Oh,
Dave Blaney, first career Bud Pole Award. He is now entered into next February's Budweiser Shootout at Daytona. There, see, we talked about
you
it.
did good.
I was able after the last pit stop to kind of work my way up through and get behind Kirk. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get him. I could see that the high line was his best line, and whenever he tried to get to the bottom, he was a little bit loose there. So I was able to catch him in some traffic at my best spot, which was the middle of 3 and 4, and make the pass.
He's Dale Jarrett, and he squeezed out a win on Sunday in the Subway 400 at Rockingham, edging Kurt Busch over a frantic final 10 laps. We review the second event of the NASCAR Winston Cup season now with our expert panel, Michael Walters, John Benson, and Ken Schrader. Only 4 of the 43 starters failed to finish.
That's pretty good. You know, like I say, we had 7 cautions there for 46 laps and only have a couple cars out. That's not a bad deal for that.
That's what happens a lot in Winston Cup racing these days. You run all day and you look up at the end and you finish 35th. You're like, how the heck that happened?
Or poor Sterling Marlin, who runs all day and has a problem right near the end. And so, how'd I finish 40th?
Right.
It said 20 lead changes, too.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it numerous times, but man, just using every inch of that racetrack, just so much fun.
What a fun track.
Oh, it is.
Let's start by talking about the lack of practice, because the weather forecast for Saturday was so dismal, many teams used Friday practice for the race instead of for qualifying as you normally would. Did you? And was it, I mean, in hindsight, obviously, it was a good call if you did.
Yeah, we did on ours. We obviously went there qualifying trim, looked at the weather and thought, you know, if we don't get practice on Saturday, this is a brand new race car, it's got the new body style, we're not sure what's going to happen. So Quick converted everything over, ran a little bit of practice in that, and then Quick switched it back over for qualifying, and The qualifying part worked good for us, but during the race, like I say, it wasn't bad except for our brake problem. I wish we'd had more time in race trim to be able to figure out that we had a problem.
Sunday, pretty windy, no rubber in the racetrack because of the rain. You've not had much practice, so as we watched the start and some early racing, talk about how that affected things in the opening laps, or did it?
I don't think it does. I think we could practice. We could go there and we could practice for a week, or we could unload and start the race, and the good cars lined up at the front, the good teams, and I mean, we had no problems. We were going to have a NASCAR competition yellow around lap 45, and Dale Jr. had a tire problem at the same time. They had to get the debris off the track, so it worked out perfect. We didn't have a problem the first 45 laps.
The only thing you're going to have there a little bit with the track being green is the tire wear is going to be a little bit quicker than normal.
And it didn't take, but what, 2 laps for people to head to the top of the racetrack?
We head to the top quick at Rockingham.
It was great.
Darlington, too.
Darlington, too, yeah. A couple weeks, you'll be all over it.
I'm going to be quiet till then.
I'll take that action.
Yeah.
Rusty Wallace got the lead early and dominated the first half of the race. Let's move to the 3rd and 4th cautions now. We will look at them just past 1/4 distance when people start helping their fellow driver around.
Yeah.
Who was the first to do that?
Jack
Oh,
Sprague.
no. That's a shame Kenny got turned around. He don't cause anybody any problems.
No, Jack called Kenny this morning, and they'll let Bill apologize.
And this would be the 2nd caution.
Jerry got spun around.
Yeah, that'll happen every now and then.
He don't cause anybody any problems either.
So Dale call him in the morning? Yeah.
Oh,
Got another one coming in there.
I think Jeremy checked up, and they said Andretti got into him.
Yeah, and it caused a bad day for both of them.
And even though the leaders had just been on pit road 10 laps of green flag racing ago.
Oh, 10 laps is like a lifetime when you can come in and get new tires.
I think there ought to be
Rockingham.
I think there ought to be a tire roll in Winston Cup like there is in Busch.
I think so, too.
You see better racing. Everybody comes to pit road and gets new tires. It doesn't give a chance for the race to change complexion. You know, when you have a Busch race and you're limited to 3 sets, then you've got to have some strategy. If you had that in Winston Cup, and I know all these people that are rich and have all the tires they want, it's not about that. It would just change the complexion of the race.
6 or 7 sets of tires for that race would be wonderful.
Right.
That would
and
be
you know,
fun.
if you figure 3's enough for 200 laps, there needs to be 6 for 400. And I think it'd be a great race. I think NASCAR should look at that. Have we ever said anything on here that they've looked at before?
Actually, yes.
Ad or us?
Well, maybe they should look at that.
We've said stuff, and they've looked at it and talked to us about it, remember?
They usually look at it and go, those poor
What are you
boys.
thinking?
They ain't got a clue, do they?
Do I look dark? Is this, I'm
You got
not
tan?
sure
You're,
with the
you're
lighting.
well tanned.
Is it dark in this corner? Not me, but is the lighting
It's
okay?
dark over there.
You got
It feels dark.
No, you're just in a haze, Mikey.
it's that carbon monoxide thing.
Dark.
Sure
We,
is
See,
dark.
looks dark. See how dark I look?
Sure
Not
is.
now.
Sure
On the
is.
wide one.
Sure is dark in
There,
there.
look. You almost lose me down
That's
here.
because you guys got your arms wrapped around each other. You've got on black shirts.
Okay, go ahead, Alan. I'm sorry.
I forgot where I was at now.
We got new camera equipment. I noticed that. I knew something was different in here.
Tires that wear out and where you slip and slide around, or the racetracks where you go where you can run on the same tires forever and they don't ever lose grip. Which way do you like it better?
The latter, or the first.
Where you slip and slide around and
Yeah.
Slip
I think
slide.
it's more fun. You see better racing. The last 10 laps of that race were awesome.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And so I think no one would complain or argue that that's not some good racing right there. And people that don't run well there will complain about the track, but it's not the track. It's just you can't quite get your stuff together or whatever.
It's never the track. You know, teams and drivers have preferences on which type of surface they like, but the track's always a constant. Whether it's got a lot of grip or no grip or whatever, that's all
Everybody has
43
to deal
teams.
with it, yeah.
That's what it is, and that track's just fun just because we use every inch of it.
Right.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s involvement in the lap 122 caution was only part of what was a very tough day for him and the red team on Sunday. This is lap 174.
Does a nice job keeping it off the wall, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Extremely nice because it's so hard to even spin at that place, especially on the backstretch where it's so narrow. He did a great job.
Well, you said something earlier. He should have maybe known his day was going to have a bad day when the skydiver landed on his trailer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a rough day for the Bud team. They went down there and tested too, and you know, we kind of did qualifying runs on Friday because we thought we would just Junior had a good test and we'd plug in what he did, and
And he did run good at the beginning. At the beginning there, he was right there, but they say his day started to go a little slower.
Hey, he got a fender pushed in early, and from that point on, it just kind of went down. Rusty Wallace still leading through all the pit stops and all the cautions, but as the race crosses halfway, Kurt Busch comes up to Rusty and challenges for the lead.
Brings Mark Martin with him.
And Kurt, you know, Kurt and both Mark ran extremely well in the fall race too, so you expected to see those guys up there running strong again.
They got side by side and went like 5 laps, just like this, for the race lead.
That's what's interesting about this track. You know, you use one groove to run a guy down, then all of a sudden you got to pick another one to figure out how to pass him, and that makes it a little bit difficult.
When Kurt come off turn 2 there, he would have given big bucks to have another car width to go out if Rusty wouldn't be there, because it sure does make life simpler.
But this is later in the run too. You know, if you had new tires, you can run and get around that bottom pretty fast, but as tires start to wear, the top just gets faster and faster.
Rusty Wallace led 160 of the first 197 laps of the race, so he led almost all of the first 200 miles of that race, which was pretty impressive. Wound up finishing 6th after leading that chunk of the race. Lap 275, more trouble, and yes, it's the red car.
I was right behind him here, and I wasn't sure which way he was going to go, and he spun, and I thought, okay, I know he's going to come up the track right now, so I started heading down and looked up and says, you know, he's not going to come up anymore. and he just got down on the inside of somebody there and just got loose.
And the other red car, or one of the other red cars, also
Oh, right at the same time.
What happened? Oh, I guess we're supposed to know, aren't we?
Maybe did Jeremy slow down and somebody boot him?
He might have got hit, but then right after that, they were put down some safety drive there,
Oh,
so I don't know.
a ton of safety
Ton,
drive.
so, but I'm sure he probably damaged that from hitting the wall.
Yeah, I think
Or-
the oil was off of Jeremy after he hit, but I don't know.
when you jump on the brakes, you see somebody spin. Sometimes you jump on the brakes and the car jumps.
But
Or
by the looks of it there, it looked like he got hit.
Looked like
'cause
he was
corrected
ready
it pretty.
It looked like he was going and not stopping.
You
so.
could get loose getting in yesterday.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's probably because those front springs we're running look like rear springs nowadays. We used to go to Rockingham with a front spring in it that we'd race at Charlotte, you know, 1,800, 2,000 pounds, and now we're going with some that are almost half that. So it's
Really?
just- don't look at me. I should be going, really? Maybe that's what my problem was.
All right, this is a good place for a break here. Coming up, more of our Subway 400 review with Michael, Johnny, and Kenny, including the terrific fight for the win in the final 10 laps between Kurt Busch and Dale Jarrett.
We're strong early, faded in the middle a little bit, but we kept tuning, we kept adjusting. Every single stop we made something for an adjustment, and pretty big adjustments, and then we got better at the end.
The longer we could run, the better we could run compared to the competition. So that particular run, I had the car probably a little too loose and probably used up a little too much right rear tire early in the run, and it hurt us a little bit then, but we still you know, made up a 5.5 second deficit to the leader and was right there then. So you know, it was a great race. You always wish you were over there in victory lane, but it was a good race for us.
That's the way this racing's supposed to be. I mean, we had a great time. We just burned the rear tires off, and it just seems like I ended up on this same stick last fall.
Thoughts of some of the top finishers of the Subway 400 at Rockingham as we continue our review on NASCAR Inside Winston Cup with Michael, Johnny, and Kenny. If you're watching the Monday night edition, this is live. We are working without a net. Let's go to the final caution, lap 298. Jeff Gordon found himself facing the wrong way off of turn number 4. Kind of the result of a little stack up.
Junior got loose and Jeff tried to stop, and it's just hard for everybody to get stopped. You can't see.
That was just a racing deal.
On them do it.
So everybody comes into pit with 94 laps to go, and fuel to the finish is a question.
Well, you know that you can run close to that anyways, and you just hope that, you know, if there's going to be a caution, everybody's going to come in, get tires, fuel anyways, so I don't think it was anybody's concern at this point in time.
I think the way the race had gone, anybody figured that wouldn't be another caution between then and the finish.
Right.
Wish there wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
I'm glad there wasn't.
Bobby Labonte had topped off before the restart from the last caution with 104 to go. And so he stayed out along with Dave Blaney and Jeff Burton, and they took over the top 3 spots. But on the restart with 91 laps to go, fresh tires win out very quickly. Fresh tires and good race cars.
Yeah, but it was impressive what Bobby did. He lost a few spots, but darn, he didn't hang right in there. And he had struggled all throughout the race without any track position. When he got some, he took advantage of it.
Kurt Busch on the move will get to the lead with 84 laps to go.
Teammate worked with him there a little bit. Said, I don't want to hold you up, brother. Get on your way.
There you go. Kurt Busch.
He was going that way anyway.
Yeah, he knew where he was heading.
Yeah, he was going forward.
Kurt is here in studio and will be in the hot seat shortly. I'm sure he can't wait for that. 39 laps to go. Dale Jarrett gets to second spot, begins chipping away at Kurt's lead. They run into some very heavy lap traffic, and we hit our Enterprise turning point of the race. 10 laps to go, and the first of 3 trades of the lead in the final 10 circuits.
Don't you love the Enterprise move of the race? Turning point of the race. This is where the heavy traffic came to play, as Alan said. But what a battle they have. It's just not over right here. There's a lot of stuff to go on. Kurt tries to go 3 wide inside of Jeff, makes that work nicely. Jarrett didn't bail, though. Stayed right underneath of them, and they'll race down into turn 3. Seriously about it.
Yeah.
That was
seriously about it, yeah.
Dale kind of roughed Kurt up there a little bit and got the lead, but with 10 to go, that wasn't over. That wasn't out of bounds. That was normal.
It's a good race.
A little scrubbing.
Yep, and the cars they were passing were tail end of the lead lap. So
Fighting.
Can't get out of the way.
And fighting for position, too.
Right. Still in heavy traffic with 4 and then 3 laps to go. They will trade the lead once again and again after that, twice again.
Once again and then again after that.
Something like that.
That's a lot of time, is what you're trying
A lot
to
of
say.
agains.
But
See, I was trying to get out of the way here. That's a pretty good shot there, but Dale got into back to 99 there and actually lost a little bit of time there.
99 is racing hard right there with Johnny. Both those guys are trying to get a position out of the deal, and Kurt used the momentum there to get by Jarrett. But check this out.
You get back by him, and this is what makes Rockingham so great, because he'll go up there and you can see just a little bit right there, he's loose. And if we're at any place else, Kurt would have lost a ton of time, but he's able to still stay pretty close to side by side with him right there, which makes it neat for this racetrack.
Okay, Kurt was a little loose.
A little loose.
But you think he got quite a bit looser when Dale hit him? Yeah.
Let's ask Kurt, what has Brown done for you lately?
Yeah, what has Brown done for you lately?
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. You know, this is the kind of racing that you just love to see. Side-by-side racing, passing for the lead, final laps. It really was a lot of fun. New cars didn't have anything to do with that because that's Rockingham.
Right.
That's what makes it, in my opinion, one of my favorite tracks to go watch a race at.
And I think something else is cool. You didn't hear the Chevy guys all whining about there wasn't any Chevys up front. You know, everybody was thinking Rockingham's a spring and shock, and just take the arrow out of the deal at Rockingham. Let's just go stick on 4 tires and race each other. And when we go to Vegas this weekend, I think it'd be interesting to see how the makes match up, and that'll be fun to see. I should have stopped talking when I first said that, because then I started getting confused. And
Yeah.
We were with you, though.
Okay, let's go to break so we'll have
We
more
were
time
with
for
you.
Kurt.
We knew you were confused.
I have one other point I need to make about Rockingham. We've all spent the last, 15, 20 minutes talking about what great racing we see there. Empty seats on Sunday was disappointing.
Maybe it's because it's in the funny time of year.
Funny time of year. A lot of bad weather coming up to it. Although Sunday's weather was great, but
maybe the weekend after Daytona, you know, Daytona gets so much attention, and Rockingham isn't exactly a marquee
warm weather place.
Event. So perhaps if it were later in the year, when maybe people could mix in a little golf with some race.
If you're going to spend a lot of money to fly to somewhere in North Carolina and get your motel rooms, and you don't know what the weather's going to be like there, I mean, that's a roll of the dice when you can cruise out to Vegas next week or something like that instead.
Figure it's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
My point was, great place to see a race. I'd love to see them find a way to fill it up, whether it's moving it to a more reliable spot weather-wise on the calendar or whatever, because they are fun races and they're good to see. And
I think you found the expert panel was with you on that.
I believe you were, and I appreciate the support very much.
We're there for you.
Okay, how about the finishing order for the Subway 400? Let's not get carried away.
Check out Rusty Wallace finished 6th and got $103,000 at Rockingham. That's pretty impressive.
How about this? Dale Jarrett has finished 1st or 2nd in 8 of the last 15 races at Rockingham.
I know it. What about Kurt Busch? He's finished no worse than 6th in the last 7 races dating back to 2003, 2002.
Very nice.
I haven't even been drinking. Still can't talk.
Maybe you should.
Kurt Busch is in the hot seat when we continue on NASCAR Inside Winston Cup. Time time for the hot seat. And the hottest driver on the circuit is in the hot seat now with 7 straight top 10 finishes, including a pair of second-place efforts to open the 2003 season. We welcome the driver of the Sharpie Rubbermaid Ford, Kurt Busch. How you doing?
That's
Good,
what I was
gentlemen.
trying to say. All that stuff you just said.
Thank you.
Sharpie Rubbermaid Ford?
Don't try this at home. I'm a trained
7
professional.
straight top 10 finishes, but only 1 finish of those 7 was out of the top 5.
Out of Phoenix.
Say your last 7 finishes. Second, second.
Oh, goodness, we're going backwards?
Yeah.
We finished first at Miami, then 6th at Phoenix, 3rd at Rockingham.
Listen to
Those two
this.
got swapped. And then we won Atlanta, Martinsville. Is that 7?
Is that amazing?
And we blew up at Charlotte. We were running pretty good, but we blew up at Charlotte.
It's not a bad record. I
That's-
appreciate
it's
you
been
coming.
fun.
Appreciate your coming, and I turn you
Thanks,
over for
guys.
questioning to our esteemed panel.
Yes, yes, it is hot.
What do y'all want to talk about?
What are you doing?
Yeah,
We've been trying. It's just not working. What are you doing?
Just working with Jimmy Fenning. I mean, it's been a nice combination. He's been a father figure to me. He let me know what type of balance I needed in these cars, and he made me step up to his level. And it's been fun doing that, just learning these cars, the inside out. And when we go to the racetracks, we're prepared for it. We have a plan. Even during the practice on Friday, we just went straight into race trim and tried to get some things knocked out because we had a brand new car with the downforce.
Well, we were just talking about, we were sharing among the 3 of us what springs we ran, and we all ran crappy, so could you just tell us what ones you ran?
Yeah, there was 4 of them in there. And we ran 4 of the same shocks that we ran in the fall. So the thing we changed was we just softened all 4 springs because the downforce. We thought we were going back with less, so we just dropped the whole car down. And Mark Martin ran real well there with real soft front springs, and we couldn't run those. I don't know if we just didn't have the snout clearance like he did. So there's differences amongst the Roush cars, and they all seem to run well. So whether it's the pickup points, whether it's where the truck arms mount, I mean, we just haul ass at Rockingham. It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun to watch.
Did you learn something there? Is anything?
Well,
Not really.
No,
Teammates can't
no. He really talked a bunch of circles. For the folks at home, I know it sounded impressive, but to us, we're just thinking, okay,
Yeah,
we're
right.
not going to learn anything here.
Yeah. Well, but I think he's telling us, just like you were sharing with us off camera, they've all shared information and they've all run good, and you guys have all shared information.
Well, we did good at Daytona.
Yeah, well, you did good at Daytona.
Okay, good. So
Try to weigh it out. We'll ask you the Daytona setup for our Rockingham setup.
All right.
You know, they both pay about the same.
That's the
so
deal. Let's
should-
cut these 2 dudes out of that.
Yeah, we don't need these 2 guys.
What about all the fun stuff that's happening, having fun with the racing? You and Harvick having a little smack talk there at Daytona. Is that continuing on, having fun with that?
Yeah,
or
pit road. I guess I was
start
in his
with you
way.
or him, or what's the deal?
I mean,
You were in my pit sideways too. I meant to talk to you about that. You kind
I was
of
hoping
had
you'd
me
get in
screwed
the
up too.
race.
Yeah.
I made a big mistake there.
Well, no, you helped me. You took
I?
out enough guys that you helped me.
Glad everybody that was important got in the race. There was a few guys or a few instances where I should have pitted that lap or I should have stayed out, and the communication, we walked over one another between myself, the spotter, and the crew chief. And so last minute, I decided I needed to pit because the 54, Todd Bodine was running with us, he was in the pit box directly in front of me. So if I'd have pitted the next lap with him, we would have had a tough time getting on pit road. So I decided I guess it'd be good to have a tough time on pit road this time.
Yeah, because if you would have pulled in pitting with him the way you pulled in, you'd have broke his neck.
Missed the pit box.
Well, how does it feel to be heading back to your hometown with the point lead in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series?
It's pretty serious. It's a good feeling. It's something you don't have all the time. And the way that we've been able to piece these 2 runs together, it was somewhat of a plan, but you never know how it's going to turn out. So going to Vegas, hopefully we can finish better. I've never finished in the top 10 there. We ran well, we've led a lot of laps, but just never finished it off at Vegas.
We're not all that many years removed from you working for the water utility in Las Vegas. Really, when you think about it, it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, and watching tapes like this, you know, it reminds you real quick on where you came from and how you got there. And I could have made a move there to win the Daytona 500, but it was just better to stay in line.
Yeah, you can always look back and make those.
Yeah, shoulda,
moves.
coulda, woulda.
Those are fun to make.
But no, it's a big decision to finally make the change and get into big-time auto racing, and I've been lucky to make it.
And you just re-signed.
Just re-signed. It was a 1-year extension, but it ended up overall a 4-year deal where Kenseth and I are teamed up, and it's just a great combination with the sponsor Rubbermaid, with Jack, and the way we're able to win races, except at plate races. So we've got to do our homework at the plate races to get better.
What about Jack? Have you noticed a big difference in him, a little difference in him since his accident? Is he the same person, or what's the deal with Jack?
He limps.
Yeah, I bust his chops about his cane all the time. And Tomorrow it'll be the same, Jack, as it always is. My hot seat tomorrow on how come you lost Rockingham 2 races in a row. And I'll have to explain it to him. But family life, he's opened up a bit more as far as the way that he's able to spend time with his family. And he just took a step back. You can see that he's a bit more polished with just, he's better in life. He's just having a good time now.
That's what I sense, that he just seems more laid back than the Jack of old. And I'm thankful that he had, sometimes it takes life-changing experiences to get you where you want to be. And I think Jack is truly fun to be around.
Yeah, it's a difficult circumstance to go through by no means, and the way that our Roush team came together as a family, and people learn things on and off the racetrack, and for drivers, we usually have to run into a concrete wall to learn something. That usually helps us.
I'm almost teammate with you now. Well, my second cousin just signed with you guys, Carl Edwards.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know he's related in a way.
Yeah.
He's got both thumbs
my
up.
cousin,
He's 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, he's 2 thumbs up. It's good having you on the show. When can we get Kyle?
Well, he's on a whole new contract. So
Yeah,
he'll be in a whole underneath a new program, and he'll be well taken care of over there. He's having a good time. He'll be his own self.
Hey, good. You want to hang out with us for a little bit?
Sure, we can do another segment. No
hang
problem.
on.
That'd be great.
We're going to talk about something else next segment, but you can hang out with us if you want to.
Yeah, we'll throw in our 2 cents.
There you go. Good. Kurt Busch with us in the hot seat. We'll take a break here. When we come back, a very quick review of Monday's NASCAR Busch Series race from Rockingham, which was won by Jamie McMurray. Our Busch Series update is brought to you by Smooth Busch Beer, an easy drinking Busch Light. Head for the mountains of Busch.
That's a fine product if you like beer.
And Kurt Busch is with us.
Busch Light in the hot seat.
And we're going to talk about the NASCAR Busch Series.
I got a bunch of ifs. Can I use them?
You'll be able to use plenty of them right here. Jamie McMurray dominated the race, but it looked like Mikey might just rule the day. 33 laps to go on a long green flag run. Mikey catches the man nobody's been able to catch all day.
It's going to be the easiest win ever. But watch this. Right when I pass him, oh, the caution comes out. And we would go into the pits leading and come out not leading, and I ran over something, cut a tire, and that was all the story for the Aaron's Dream Machine. But I had a great car. I was having fun.
Tailpipes on the racetrack. Here's the aforementioned pit stop issue.
What happened? Let's see. I didn't get a chance to review this.
Well, you'll see it right here.
Oh.
There it was.
I'll tell you what.
There's like 7 lugs on that wheel.
You know, as aggravated as you get, I'm glad I don't have to go over that wall and do that, because that's
a tough job.
A ton of pressure.
Yeah, because I'm sure the driver complained about it after it happened.
I'm pretty sure he did too. I thought we were at lunch and I thought I heard you.
Oh, you were here in Charlotte.
Yeah, we were in Charlotte. Yeah.
I just was proud of my team because, man, we pushed really bad, and then we just kept making better and better, and we got it right, and then we let it slip away. Darn it.
It's tough. Once Mikey's challenge faded, Jamie McMurray charged on to the win. Behind him, though, good race for second to the checkered flag, but second was about the only consolation anybody was going to get today at Rockingham.
These two were on it. They were dicing it up good, and the lap car here made Todd change his mind.
Todd and David, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
About 992, David Green, 37.
Ooh, I wouldn't have done that if I was David. But it worked out.
Worked out good. David finished second, and Todd finished third. Great run for both of them.
Yep, there's Jamie taking the checker, and here's the battle for second. Yes, David Green.
Clarence Brewer had one car finish real good, and he had one get bent up.
Yeah. So Jamie McMurray led 192 of 197 laps.
He had a good weekend.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, he did.
Really great
He ran real good.
Yeah.
Fifth or sixth?
Fifth and one.
Fifth.
Yeah.
And talk about Kurt being on a roll Winston Cup wise. McMurray, that's his 3rd win in the last 6 starts in the Busch Series.
Yep. It's rolling pretty smooth.
Yeah.
And I don't have any during that same time.
Okay. We checked the finishing order from the top 10 finishers from today's Rockingham 200, today being Monday.
Great run for Brian Vickers. He's got in that Hendricks car, and I think he's going to be a threat this year. I think he can really race up into the points well and win some races.
And
Mike
like
Bliss.
fifth down there before and made $700.
Yep, things have changed.
Things have changed.
What's it pay to finish 18th, you know? Oh,
see
shoot, that car went by.
If you'd like to see the full breakdown of today's Rockingham 200, tonight at 11 Eastern, inside the NASCAR Busch Series. And now, boys and girls, it is time for Speed Fan Q&A, your weekly topics of inquiry that we put to our expert panel. Question number 1 this week comes from Kenneth Brown of North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Why doesn't NASCAR put a roof flap on top of the car so the driver can get out easier, like in drag racing on the funny cars?
That's a question that is raised daily, and they're working on it.
They are working on it. It's in the process right now. Oh, Mikey, get out.
It's hot in it. Oh, it's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. That was Grammy Award-winning Nelly I was reciting.
Where was this at? Was that Fontana?
Michigan.
I'm not sure where, you know, I think that there's people working on that, but I think they're afraid probably if cars get flipping real hard that might be an issue. I'm not sure if that's a little bit of a holdup or not.
I think that they're working on a restraint system, a way to keep the door shut.
If the roof...
Go ahead, come on, spit it out.
If you're turning over and the roof's the only thing that holds you in, you're in trouble.
Well, you just don't.
He'd been okay, but the door came off.
Yeah, that'd probably be bad, wouldn't it?
Okay. NASCAR is working toward a bigger car, roof and all, so we can race into the 2050s, and any size driver that comes along that wants to be a race car driver can do it. Now the cars have shrunk and shrunk and shrunk and gotten smaller and smaller and smaller, and it's a real concern. And now we're going to go, we stopped. They're not going to get smaller, now we're going to get bigger, so that my son, little Michael Jr., or Macy if she chooses, no, Macy, not you, can get in and out of a car.
Well, what we see is a problem with a bigger guy like you, that when that driver's side saw it with Jason Keller at Daytona, and he's not a big guy.
Yeah.
But when that driver's side's up against the wall and you need to get out, that's where the problem comes, because we got so much stuff in there now that the right side isn't just an easy exit.
Plus visibility. You know how hard it is to see out the left side of the windshield?
I didn't see the guy, the paratroopers wrecked because my thing fell in or out.
Left side
I didn't
of the
see him.
Like when you're in a corner, you're looking right here.
Oh, the A-pillar.
All the A-pillar and stuff. We digress. Let's not do another question.
We have to.
Can we have a simpler one?
Because we're already got it loaded and rolling before you said that. Al Gerard of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada wants to know, we keep hearing about drivers having to hit their marks. Please explain what that means.
I got this. This means don't go overshoot the turn. Okay, thanks for writing in.
I'll tell you what, I've been 18 years and I still haven't found my marks.
I think that just simply means don't drive in too far.
Hit the same spot every time.
Right.
Yeah. Road courses, you have reference points, and those you can relate to marks. Hitting your marks, make sure you don't drive it in too hard, like you're saying.
See?
There you go.
Knows. Maybe we could learn something.
God, he's so young, though. How old are you?
Mark with Sharpies. 24.
24.
Oh, you took Sharpies and marked your marks.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's where I go.
Slid that one in there. He's been taking lessons, maybe from you, Mike.
Yeah.
The sponsor slides.
You didn't even say Aaron's Chevrolet during the bush race.
I did, too.
Did you?
And I said Napa Chevrolet.
I guess it just gets so tired. Listen, I mean,
Got a question you'd like to send us? Here's how you get it to us.
Come on, Kenny.
To submit your questions, visit speedtv.com. Go to the program section and look for Inside Winston Cup.
Sterling Marlin rolled the 777s in Vegas a year ago, winning the UAW Daimler Chrysler 400, the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, heading back to the mile-and-a-half track in Vegas this coming weekend. Here's the programming schedule for you. Busch Series qualifying here on Speed, Friday afternoon, 4:30 Eastern. Winston Cup qualifying on Fox Sports Net follows. Trackside at Vegas on Speed, late night Friday East Coast time. And then everything Saturday and Sunday, Winston Cup final practice, the Busch Series 300-miler on FX, the 400 on Sunday on Fox, and all of post-race coverage here on Speed with NASCAR's edition of Speed News and NASCAR Victory Lane. Bottom line, we got it all coming up this weekend.
It's going to be a lot of action. If you want to see it, tune in to Fox or Fox Sports or Speed or Fox Bet or FX, somewhere on this network.
Somewhere in there.
We're going to have you covered.
That's exactly what it'll mean. We preview the event now with our expanded expert panel, including Las Vegas native Kurt Busch. The high-speed lowdown, pretty flat place.
It's extremely flat and puts on a good race because of it, though.
And also you can see the front stretches longer than the back, which brings up engine issues and gearing issues because we're trying to get the thing to run down the back straightaway. Kurt, we're coming off the travel here and diving into one. What are you thinking right here?
Got to get to the white line. You got to stick it down low, and if your car gets tight, you can move up high through the middle. The place has got a lot of grooves to it. It's a lot of fun. That 12 degrees is like a perfect match, and I'm biased. It's my hometown, but 12 degrees is kind of cool. It's not flat, but it's not banked.
And you can run the outside pretty good down through 1 and 2, getting in the corner. 3 is a little bit tough, but it's pretty wide coming off 3 and 4 there. I'll use all the racetrack, all the way to the top, cut across all the way to the bottom.
It's a lot of fun.
End of the lap there.
And
With
a fast one.
Mr. Stewart.
Yep. Looked like he was a little loose. You see him fighting the steering down the
Turn
corner.
3.
You'll
Always
see a
tough
lot of
to turn
looseness at Vegas because you can't push. You need to be free.
Many tested there in January. New body locations, new body styles. A lot of people pointing to this weekend as being one where we'll find out how good a handle teams have on the new cars.
I believe so. It's a little more aero dependent than, like, say, Rockingham, because there's just no grip, like we've talked about, and there's more speed at Vegas, and you don't have that banking to catch you, so you got to be able to ride up underneath someone, and still you want your car to be able to cut down underneath them, and it takes a lot to do that.
There'll be a lot of looseness in Vegas.
You had said something about that, hadn't you?
He said that, and then he was looking at me while I'm on camera, and he's off camera, and he's going, I'm trying to see if I got it or not. I was with you there, Mike.
Get it, King?
Leading to the next statement that I had actually written down here, which is the trip itself is a lot of the appeal of this race.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to go out there, and it's cool, Kurt, how many fans we have on the West Coast.
There's a diverse crowd. It's been a long time coming. We went out to Phoenix in the early 90s watching Schrader race, and you guys were probably racing then too. We knew Schrader was.
You could have went out there in the early 70s and watched Schrader race.
Yeah, I was out there in the early 70s, Kurt.
And then we had Fontana get built. And
These
then
kids are screwing up this whole sport. We had a good deal going.
Yeah, but then everything's got to change.
We're just following
Yeah.
suit. We're following the template.
Yeah, you're doing good.
Wasn't it cool yesterday, though, to see the kid and the old guy, Jarrett, on behalf of us old guys, not calling you old Dale. That's why I always say there's no magic. You know, you can be good if you're old, you can be good if you're young. Yesterday was a good example of that.
Oh, it was a blast. I mean, racing like that, it's something you always dream about, getting down to the wire, racing somebody neck and neck for the victory.
Okay, somewhere in this
Young
conversation that was supposed to be about the Las Vegas race this weekend, we got off on loose and then off to old people. And that.
How would you think it'd
Winston
be
Cup
different?
Championship standings heading into the race this weekend.
You're the host.
Please. I know, that's why.
Yeah, if this thing runs off course, let's look at Alan first.
Leadership here, buddy.
That's why my hair's turning gray.
You'd never tell with underneath that stuff. Well, never mind.
Our guest here, Mr. Bush, is the early leader.
Yes, he is.
Jarrett moved up 8 spots with his Rockingham win.
Speaking of Jared, you know they've got 6 subs under 6 grams of fat, 6 under 6. That is a great place to eat. I'm kind of on a version of the Jared diet.
I thought you were on a pizza diet.
Carbs are our enemy.
We'll be back.
Speed Channel's coverage of NASCAR Inside Winston Cup is brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Pick Enterprise, we'll pick you up. And by Smooth Bush Beer and easy drinking Bush Light. Head for the mountains of Bush.
Trackside at Vegas, Friday night, late night on Speed Channel. Beware of that because of the time difference. Some of the other programming happening this weekend, including Speed News all weekend. I talked to Dave Despain this morning. He's got that new program, Wind Tunnel, starting up. Got a little bit of a different time this weekend because of the Vegas programming, but 11:30 Friday night. He's all psyched up about it, said the first one went well.
Call in, talk about whatever you want.
Should be fun.
We'll host it, and you can watch the 24 Hours of Daytona 2003 highlights. Next. Won't that be fun?
Us.
How about that? You know what? I've decided I like pizza better. Domino's.
That's a good decision, Mikey.
Carbs
I love
are not
Domino's.
our enemy.
Oh, I love carbs.
Good. Now that we've got that straight. Kurt, thank you.
Pleasure, as always.
Appreciate you coming
We
by.
appreciate you coming. That's cool. It adds credibility when we get a good guest.
Yes, it's truly an expert panel tonight. That's why I had him hang out for a little while.
Yeah.
So we had
Helped us
Daytona
out.
500 winner, the man who's finished second in the first 2 races of this season, started on the outside of the front row. And Kenny's going to qualify like third at Vegas Friday.
He was going to qualify there
and finish about
Rockingham,
Well,
but
what
then
we
he talked
screwed-
Scott into working on it.
What we screwed up is what we made our bonsai runs, and when it come time to qualify, and I did my race practice.
He was second fast on the sheet at Rockingham. You folks at home don't see that, but Kenny was on it. You just watch that team. They're going to surprise some people. I believe it. I believe it. I've been saying it.
And my prevailing thought now is an hour live, and we've survived it
Did we
once
do
again.
it? Did we
See
make
you
it?
next
Doing
week.
that hour. See ya.